Okay, I'm going to start inside this morning. I had to move a bunch of my seedlings in. Most of these are getting hardened off to transplant out. It's been in the mid to high 80s and dry for almost 2 weeks now, and which is very uncharacteristic for April. It's now April 19th. But you know, what are you going to do? And then we've had a big swing, which like that is kind of typical for April, but pretty extreme. Like yesterday's high was I think 87, and then today's high is going to be 56. So I went down into the 40s last night, which can stunt like peppers and things, and I think maybe nightshade, like tomatoes and things. So I brought everything inside, and then we'll be back to 70s, next 3 days I think. So anyway, these are inside, but it's kind of good. I can get them all in one place. I'm not going to go through all of it, but that's primarily zinnias, peppers that I started late, so they're kind of small. Let's see, that is some herbs and maybe some flowers. I think those might be eggplants, tomatoes. I've started separating out my tomatoes to distribute them to friends. I've become known as a source. These haven't been divided up yet or repotted. Some of them, like that black cherry, is doing fine on its own, but she's big. But see, I have several in one. Did have a little casualty here, so it's probably not worth potting up. But yeah, I'll distribute to friends. Huckleberries in the back. We're gonna see how that goes. Lots of basil. These are all my melons and squashes. Primarily flowers. That's cumin. In the spice aisle, found cumin seeds, and I was like, see if they germinate, and they did. Don't know what they like other than I think hot, maybe dry. We'll see. I don't know if they like being transplanted, but we're about to find out. Some bigger peppers, and that's my Goth Girl seed pack I had friends give me last year. I had separated the seeds out like a lunatic and started them individually. This time I just threw the remnants, because there wasn't much left, into like 3 little pods, and they've all germinated well. So I have to find a place to put them soon. I was using this little container as like a nursery bed to size up these plants. Lots of poppies, some celosia, I don't know what else, but and citrus that I always forget, Lisbon lemon, and my cute little skunk friend that my friend gave me, Harvey Hill lemon tree that I grew from seed. It hasn't made any fruit ever, so I don't even know if it's edible, and it's had plenty of problems, but I feel like she's doing better. Colocasia that I overwintered, and it looks like it's definitely divided itself, so I may have multiples. Bear's lime. She's got a couple hanging out there, and then it's working on the next round, which is, I don't know if that means I'm stressing my plants, but this is my Meyer lemon. She looks kind of sad at the moment. Maybe she needs some water. Yuzu that I got last year. She's making fruit. So exciting. Little succulent corner. My magnificent, I believe that's a Tradescantia, in a pot I bought for myself for my birthday at an Oddities Expo I went to with my girlfriends. And they also had a bunch of, handmade stuff. Oh, bay laurel. Those are all going to go out soon once we get past this big shift in weather. It's supposed to be down in the 30s tonight, and then like the evenings will be in the 50s, so I'll start moving everything back out as soon as that happens. So I did plan out a bunch of stuff this week. This celery right here made it through the winter in this container outside, almost no cover, so good job, little celery. Just put in some pak choi. That's cardinal basil, so it has like a red flower, so it should be pretty here. And that's a chard looking sad. I just put that in yesterday. I put in seeds into my green stock a while ago. So these are all radishes on the bottom, carrots, because I can't grow carrots for anything. So I was trying in there because it was very sheltered, because squirrels dig them up, roly-polies and slugs eat them. So if this works, this may be my new way to get carrots, because the other way, which I also have started, is kind of goofy and only kind of works. Cilantro, I just started putting things in here. I was intending to use this as a strawberry planter, but you can see like they didn't make it through the winter well, maybe because I'm just not attentive enough. And then I don't think she's here because she would have flown out already. Oh no, she is. Ma'am. Good morning. Hi. She made this in my planter and she is tolerating my presence. She has 4 eggs in there. We'll let her be. So there's not much to see here at the moment. I have a whole Philadelphus growing up out of my sidewalk. And it's hyssop that grew itself. It's my little dragon friend. There's a chocolate mint in there. Nothing here at the moment. And one of my goth girl seed mixes might go in there. Dahlia is coming up, and that's a creamy white one that was initially Thomas Edison, I think. I've never bought a white one, but that one is white, so I don't know how that happened. Maybe with hybrids they revert. I don't know. Rose, that one I think is called Arabian Nights, and she's got buds. She's doing well. I probably need to pull some of these guys up because they're kind of crowding her out. Do greenhouse first. There's not much in there since I took a lot of it inside. Potatoes, looking really good. I closed this up last night because it was going to be cold. Whole tray of yarrow that's dug up from the front yard. That's crazy. It's kind of like mint where it's just popping up from all the roots. So I'm going to have a lot of yarrow, I think. Cilantro and spinach. Some more greens like mustard, cabbage. These are flowers mostly, and a couple artichokes. I did plant out an artichoke. It's already disappeared. I don't know if it got eaten. This is my other way to start carrots, because I've tried many times to start them from direct seed like you're supposed to, and between squirrels and bugs and slugs, I get none carrots. If I start them in here and little toilet paper or paper towel rolls and transplant them gently, and I don't separate them or anything because I don't like root disturbance, I will get some carrots. So ineffective, but I get some carrots. Allium, Tradescantia, more yarrow. Those are all bound for the front yard. Tiny flowers. I think those are primary Nigella and maybe some Brazilian Verbena, also pulled out of the front yard. Gonna hopefully size them up and be able to put them back when the front yard is done with the wall. Alright, I have to start my irrigation, so it's not a lot, half an hour a day. But it does stink. I try not to use the city water too much on the garden unless I can help it. So you can see asparagus, a little bit of asparagus coming up here, and then random things, but these are pine berries. So I've had some there. I have been working a lot with the transplanting. These are all mostly strawberries from the front yard, and because it's been so hot and dry, they have struggled. I was expecting a fair amount of loss, but if a couple of them make it, they'll fill up the space pretty fast. So those guys there. Cleared myself a little path and made a little border there. I was primarily digging out a bunch of liriope, and a lot of that I transplanted up front because I kind of took over this entire area here. So, and everything, all the liriope here came back from root fragments because this was all dug up a couple years ago, and it came back fast. So there's some strawberries I put under the cranberry viburnum. I put some liriope around here. I might use it as a border. So I've got wisteria pushing in from the other side, from my neighbor's yard. That's a total pain in the rump. Baby Pawpaw is waking up. That is the mango pawpaw. Congratulations, ma'am. Good job. There is a little blackberry back there. More strawberry by the fence. Service berry has woken up. The sticks I put over there to get out of the way when my brother was here, I still haven't moved them back or ground them up, but it's going to take a minute. Comfrey is already flowering. Good job. Hollyhock. Clematis, she is flowering for the first time. Good job, ma'am. Well done. Blackberries, so there were some evidence of cane borers, so I had to cut them down. This is coming up from a new spot, so I'm assuming from the roots. There's another one back there. So we have more echinacea popping up. There's a little bit of wildness back here, some jasmine and geranium. Oh, look at that. I have flowers. This is on my black jewel raspberry. Oh, I'm so excited. Good job. Oh, goodness. That's very, very exciting. Yeah, because it just did a lot of growing last year, no fruiting, but I was like, yeah, she probably needs some time because I think this is its third year because I bought it the summer prior at the end of the season, and basically it was just roots. So look at that. And she has put out babies all over. There's babies everywhere. I did kind of let it go crazy last year, so I'm maybe going to check her a little bit this year. But like, I won't be having a black jewel raspberry patch here for too long. Also, on that note, hardy kiwi, third year in the ground, I think. She seems to be quite happy, growing a lot, which is supposed to be a fast grower. But the one I had before was not as much. Contender peach looks like she's doing well. I think there is I've seen a peach in there, but this is only, I planted it last year, only her second year in the ground, so I wouldn't expect a whole lot, but if she fruits, that would be great, so let's think about that. This blueberry, I wish I remember the variety. Last year the blueberries were enormous, but it could be partly because of weather conditions. See raspberries. Brussels sprouts that they were beautiful, and now they're getting chewed up. Looks like this one is bolting. I swear I've had Brussels sprouts in the ground for over a year that have never flowered, so that one must be having a real hard time. I did try and put them in the little cages to keep them upright. I'm gonna guess these are also ones that were overwintered. I literally started them for peas. Do I have peas happening? Yeah, I started them for last fall, and then they never made it out. So I was like, let's see what happens if we overwinter. And so I guess stress and stunting. They did grow a lot for a while, though. They were looking really good. Amaranth I put in the ground yesterday. Looks like it's dead. I did water the heck out of it. Well, there's maybe some made it. We'll see. Cabernet Splash blueberry. Smaller blueberries, but very pretty red leaves most of the time when they emerge. My little rose here is having some struggles. I think I need to do some hacking on it, which is unfortunate. I did just put out Roselle yesterday, and that's one that I think doesn't like root disturbance, so I normally start it in like a compostable cup. But I'd started in a regular, and I just tried really hard not to mess with the roots, to just pop it in there. Some chard, so yeah, hopefully they'll make it. Mustard, these are all the things I put out yesterday. I'm starting to think that chicory, like that you use the root to make a coffee substitute, doesn't like being transplanted, because I've transplanted 3 now and they all seem real sad, and that's outside of the weather, me being trying to be attentive. Kale, my little frog prince, that was a birthday gift. It's kind of a good thing when you're a gardener and everybody knows you love it, and then they give you fun stuff for your birthday. Kale, pak choi, cabbages. My cabbages, I figured out, I guess we can overwinter cabbages successfully. The pak choi seems to be getting enjoyed by the bugs. Although this one cabbage seems to be in the process of kicking it for no reason I can tell. Other than maybe it just didn't like its spot. But the other ones seem to be heading up nicely. So I should have cabbage for a bit. Some pak choy is making it through. Got a kale, hollyhock. I feel like I put something back there, so it probably disappeared. Oh, the rhubarb. I didn't mention the rhubarb. Oh, I see a peach. I do. Good job, peach tree. Good job. And apple tree. This is the one that got hacked in half during Halloween. I would also like to point out the birdhouse gourds that are hanging back there. That's from last year's birdhouse gourd vine that escaped. There are actually, I think, potentially birds living in at least one of them because I saw there was a hole in it. So maybe they just ate the seeds. But anyway, back to apple tree. Apple tree got cut in half when a tree fell through the fence there, and split the fig tree as well. Well, it was 3 trees that fell as a group. This apple tree is 7 years old and has not flowered yet. I'm hoping this is her year, so we will see. She looks like she's doing okay though. More things that were overwintered. Those are primarily broccolis, I believe. Yep. I've been cutting like these little tiny florets off of them. It's broccoli rabe. Since getting like big heads of broccoli is very challenging for me, but you can get a lot of small ones, so that works. And so we'll let that have the space until maybe the peppers are ready, or till they just are not being helpful. Mustard, some borage is popping up on its own. You see there's a little echinacea happening there. Oh, that borage is already flowering. I didn't even notice. These are cauliflower, I believe. That is lamb's quarter, which is a weed basically, but it's actually very nutritious. It's supposed to be more nutritionally dense than spinach, so I'm gonna let it stay there. Volunteer squashes of a sort. Oh, that looks like a broccoli, not a cauliflower. Yeah. Fig tree waking up. Already popping out some figs. Hardy kiwi, year 5. You might be on year 6. Year 6. And it basically had to get cut down to the root because it was attached to the fence panel. And I think I might be seeing baby fruit. Good job, Hardy Kiwi, you did it. Look at you, you're making flowers. Great job. Yeah, so it was attached to the fence, so the fence got taken down, so it had to be cut down essentially to the roots. And so it's come back from the roots, but it's never been especially happy there. I expected, because they're supposed to be fast growers, like that one's 3 years old, and this one's 6 years old, so you can see the difference. So clearly that's a much nicer spot for it, but it's fine. They're going to fist bump eventually. And she's making fruit, so you go at your own pace, baby kiwi. Little bug house, little bird house back there, BT dubs. Okay, and then we will look at our little mini orchard real fast. We walk this way. One day these are going to be like little paths and things. I have plans, but we'll get there. It's been like 8 years so far. And a lot's happened. Let's see, in those 8 years. Blackberry, which I could remember the variety. I do have little copper plates I'm going to etch, so I will remember the varieties. I think that might be Arapaho. But thornless blackberry. They're very large. So I appreciate your service, ma'am. Pawpaw, also waking up. It may be a while before I get actual pawpaws because I think she needs the friend back there. She did flower last year, but no fruit. Elderberry back here. Looks like she might have had some damage from the wind, perhaps. Mushroom log back there. Blue oyster. This is my second attempt. That was my first mushroom log. So that's a blue oyster log. elderberry cuttings that my neighbor gave me, and I literally just stuck them in the ground. Wrong way to do that, but that's what I did. Raspberry, I don't have time for anything right now. Raspberry patch that's completely out of the bed, so in the middle of the yard. I got blueberries over there. OG blueberry, don't remember her variety if I ever knew it. That's a blue ray or a blue jay, and then pink lemonades. And I don't even know, yeah, we'll just say, okay. We'll go look at it in a second. That's the Koshing quince. I have the Koshing and Crimea. These are honeyberries. Check 17. Yep, that's the Check 17. This is a Pink Lady apple. Pink Lady. The one over there is a Honey Crisp. This is her 3rd year in the ground, I believe. Suncoast Nectarine. So I didn't expect to get any fruit off of her. This is her 2nd year in the ground. I did put strawberries down as ground cover as well. Those are, some of them are making it, but we'll probably have a strawberry lawn here. Peach, this is Harvey Hill peach, grown from, well, not really grown from seed, but it was a volunteer in my bed, and it was big enough where I was like, I just gotta let that be. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe inedible fruit. That's my other honeyberry and a pop-up mullein. This is Indigo Treat. These are supposed to be a lot like blueberries, but bigger, if I remember, and more cold tolerant even than blueberries. That is my Crimea quince. More strawberries. I think because we had a freeze right when these were starting to flower, so we may not get any fruit off of them this year. I don't know, maybe we got some fruit. Hey, good job, girls. Good job. All right, and then I did put, it's another part of the raspberry patch. I did put some strawberries in there to repopulate it. They don't look like they've done well. I have mostly forgotten about them to water them, so if they make it, it'll be because of their own strength and not because of anything I did. And then the last thing, this little bed that I made last year, do have, let's see, 2 out of the 4 hydrangeas have woken up, so those may not be coming back here. I transplanted 3 heucheras, and I think 1 has made it. This is a challenging spot, I guess. A different kind of heuchera, some kind of bulb, looks like a lily that I put in. I'm going to say last year. Sorry for the noise. Some canna bulbs put back there, and that is just a wild geranium. So I think that is everything that's happening right now. Lots about to happen. About to start transplanting warmer things out. And I think that's it. Okay, bye.